Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this live session. I'm live at a time that I believe a lot of people should be watching from America. I don't actually go to live at this time usually. It's midnight here in London and I want to do a live Q&A with you, my beautiful audience. The fan is quite loud. Let me just take that out. There we go. That fan was too loud. So anyway, how are you guys doing? Walaikum salam, Noah. Who else is online? Walaikum salam. Where are you watching from? That's the first question. Where are you guys watching from? Walaikum salam. A bit late, yeah. A bit late in the UK. Manchester. Sanjak. Where have I heard that before? Where's Sanjak? Peterborough, Preston. Peterborough. That means it's very late for you. Are you awake? Go to sleep. Yeah. Australia. Portugal. Nice. It's morning time in Malaysia. Nice. I love Malaysia. I went to Malaysia 2018, I believe. I had some talks there. It was really nice. USA. Yep, it's late in the UK. Alrighty. So today I just wanted to open up a wide Q&A, talk about a little bit about I was thinking about covering scientism with you guys. So the problem with scientism is that a lot of people think science is the only route of knowledge. Science is the only way of acquiring knowledge about the world. But there's a whole bunch of problems with that. No matter how many times you tell people, they don't get it. Sanjak is from Serbia, Bosnians, Albanians, and Serbians. Oh yes, Al Khidr, I believe, used to live there. So, scientism, what's the problem with it? The first problem is that it limits knowledge to only that which is empirical. The problem there is mathematics and logic is not empirical. You need mathematics and logic in order to do science. Morals, what drives human behavior, is again something not empirical. You can't test for right or wrong. You can't put it in a test tube. You can't scientifically experiment for it. Likewise, metaphysics. What is the real status of the world? What is it really like to be a first person, to subjectively experience consciousness? What is the state of reality? Um, is there a immaterial mind? Is there a soul? These deep metaphysical questions. What is the nature of reality? Again, these are not scientific questions. So if you say I only believe in science, you have to get rid of metaphysics, you have to get rid of maths and logic, you have to obviously get rid of morals and ethics and values. That doesn't make any sense. And fundamentally, you can't say truth has any value because truth is something which you can only subscribe a moral worth to. You can't say I don't believe in morality and I think that truth is valuable. You can't say these two things. They don't actually make any sense. Alrighty. Okay. So, scientism is a big problem. Now, scientism is related to materialism and is also related to naturalism. I believe the belief in naturalism facilitates liberalism, facilitates scientism, facilitates hedonism and materialism, which is what we have in the world. We have a lot of that in the world, don't we? And what facilitates materialism more than anything else? Think about that question. What is it that facilitates it? I just realized something. I should be live on my TikTok as well. Can I go live on my TikTok on StreamYard? Let me check. I believe you can. I'll have to do that later. That's actually a good thing to go live on. You got wrecked by Skydive Phil. Okay, so let's think about this. Skydive Phil turned up at Speaker's Corner and he was talking, bad mouthing me to Ali Dawah. I found out, I got a video. I called him out and I started to speak to him. He didn't want to speak to me, actually. So that's your first indication, just, a small chat. And fundamentally, what was he saying? He was saying common ancestry doesn't have any assumptions. And I said, yes, it does. And I spoke about transitional probabilities. I spoke about origination probabilities. He had no idea what these were about. He had no idea what I was talking about. And he thought that the assumptions behind origination probabilities and the assumptions behind transition probabilities has no impact on whether something is related or it's not related, or the probabilities you can give something. That doesn't make any sense. What does it go to show you? It goes to show you these atheists, they don't understand the philosophy of science. They don't even understand the science that well. So all you get is little people just going around on YouTube and in comment sections saying, oh, this guy got wrecked, that guy got wrecked. Wrecked how? In fact, what I would ask you to do, Mr. Skeptic, since you're supposed to be skeptical and logical, give me one single example where Phil could answer what I was saying about transition probabilities and origination probabilities. I doubt you can do that because Phil actually said he's never heard of them. So that's one thing. The other thing to keep in mind is, what is the argument? The argument is about Darwinian evolution. So it's Phil's responsibility to show that this tree of life has resulted from natural selection. What evidence did he provide that natural selection actually facilitated a tree of life? He didn't provide a shred of evidence. So why don't you go back to the video, take out any particular timestamps, tell me exactly where I got wrecked, and tell me exactly where he won the argument, because anybody watching, anyone that's objective, anyone that's looking out for truth, they'll see this guy didn't have a clue what he was talking about. And I was bringing out evidence, I was bringing out facts, I was bringing out arguments, and he was simply waffling. So you can go around writing comments, that's fine, but I actually challenge you to provide timestamps and evidence for what you're saying. You attended the Science the Truth seminar at the IR office, August 2019. Yeah, that was 5 years ago. In your debate with Aaron Ra, why did he argue that we've discovered genetic confirmation of having a common ancestor after the book you quoted was authored? It's just a dumb argument. Like, even this Dave guy, he's with Aaron Ra, he at least is a little bit more credible than people like Farina, this fake guy. These guys, they don't actually know what they're talking about. They actually love to speak about science in a way that we've found categorical conclusions and we have now reached truth. And when you say to them, well, no, there's assumptions here, there's actually some form of argument that's being made here, you need to understand these are probabilistic conclusions, so on and so forth. These people, they don't actually have any answers. So they'll come up with absolutely ridiculous things like Aaron Ra did, that, oh, genetic information came afterwards. No, genetic information did not come afterwards. Oh, sorry, I just skipped your question. I'm going here. Debate was about human-chimp ancestry, not the mechanisms of evolution. You had no response to his arguments about pseudogenes and nested hierarchies and unconstrained DNA sequences. Okay, firstly, the very first line you've written shows you have no clue what you're talking about when it comes to human-chimp ancestry. In fact, what I would do is I would ask you to jump online and have a chat, Mr. Skeptic. I want you to repeat this and let's see what you have to say. Let's see if you're going to join. Because I don't want to give you the answer. I want you to make this argument. I want you to actually make this argument. Such a poor argument. But I want to hear you. I want to hear you come up with this argument. Can you explain why non-Muslims hate hijab? I don't think non-Muslims hate hijab. Maybe some of them do. So I gave out the link to join to this guy, Skeptic, and let's see what he has to say. If Darwin, I'm not a doctor by the way, if Darwin himself wrote a chapter, Problems with My Theory, then I really don't know how scientists just conclude by themselves that the theory in discussion is wrong. I don't agree with you. Darwin was candid about the problems in his theory, but that doesn't mean that we should discount his theory because he had some concerns. Now, he himself believed that these concerns could actually be sorted out. Okay, I'm waiting for Skeptic to join. I'm giving the link. I can see someone called Ontagelio Grasso is joining the stream. The thing is, Mr. Grasso, I'm actually, could you just write in your in the private chat where your question is, because I am trying to deal with a guy called Skeptic. Yeah, the one who's making these claims. So look, we cannot say Darwin's theory is wrong because he had doubts about his theory. It doesn't follow. It doesn't logically follow. You can have doubts about your theory, yet those doubts can be reconciled, or those doubts can be confirmed, but your theory can still be repaired. Does that mean any scientist that may have doubts about their particular theory that we simply reject it? No. And I think what we also need to keep in mind is Darwin's honesty about problems with his theory, or what he thought, what issues that could be resolved, but I don't think they can, if anything, should make us respect him more than the neo-Darwinists that speak about Darwinian evolution in a categorical way. We should not do that at all. Otagelo Grasso, what is your evidence Jesus was not crucified? Sorry, on Tagalo, I'm not speaking about Christianity on the stream. I just focus on atheism. There's plenty of other streams that you can have inter-Muslim Christian discussions about what Muslims and Christians believe. I focus mostly on atheism, my friend. Fine. Are you friends with Abdullah Andalusi? Yes, I am. He's a very clever guy, and I like him very much. I don't think we need to make an argument for objective morality. I think it's a brute fact. I think we know it. We know, like, I know the world is real. Why do I need to prove the world is real? No. Somebody who says the world is not real, the onus is on them to show me evidence that it's not real. Likewise, objective morality, the fact that there are some things which are objectively true despite human musings, is just a fact. We can't escape from it. No. Absolute morality is different to objective morality. Absolute morality is, say, if someone said killing a human being is absolutely wrong, this is an absolutist statement. The problem with this statement is that there may be instances in which killing a person like Hitler, World War II, how that could be morally justified. So capital punishment, you know, all sorts of scenarios we can think of, right? Where killing is under the normal law and order system functioning could be justified, right? So a moral absolutist, if they were to say killing is wrong, you could never take another life no matter under any circumstances. Objective morality is different because objective morality would say, okay, murder, killing a life is not permissible, but under certain circumstances it is, right? Do you condemn Pakistan, Muslim country, consuming the most pornography per capita? Um, Firstly, I don't trust these statistics. Give me the evidence for this, and if the evidence is some Western institute, and the West is full of institutes that are there to just lambaste the Muslim world, then why should I trust it? Why should I trust stats coming out from them? Secondly, where is all the pornography produced? Is it in Pakistan or is it in the Western world? So, flipping your question, do you condemn where all the pornography is coming from, which is primarily the Western world? People don't think about these questions before they post them. Coconut oil, no, it's olive oil. The question was not about production, rather consumption. I actually answered your question and I gave you another question, which is yes, you may throw out some statistic. What reason do I have to trust it? Secondly, when it comes down to production, isn't that where the mother of the problem is? So, if Afghanistan a few years ago was the center of drugs being produced, you blame the consumers or do you blame the producers primarily? So I don't understand like how you can run away from, oh, look at this Pakistan porn. What, where's it coming from? The West. Who's responsible for it? The West. You know, if you create a liberal society where your women folk are completely encouraged to just go around and start off their own OnlyFans and flaunt themselves. What kind of society is that? So before you start attacking the Muslim world, why don't you look at, if you're pointing the finger this way, there's three fingers pointing at you. Is there reason to believe in Noah's Ark? I would like to hear your thoughts. Why? I mean, we're Muslims. It mentions it in the Quran. We believe in it. Now, how big was it? Was it a local flood? Was it a global flood? Allah knows best. When was it? We don't know. Yeah, inshallah, I'm gonna be getting Stephen Meyer soon. He's just quite a busy guy, so I need to try and get through to him. Can you tell us of some prominent scientists who also use this origination and transition probability term except Elliot Sober? I don't need to, because it's a concept which no scientist can deny. Every scientist believes, every evolutionary biologist believes that Darwinian evolution has a mechanism, the mechanism of natural selection working on random mutations. Like, that's clear. So the probability of that working is your transition probability. So that's clear. Take any Darwinist, like Richard Dawkins, he talks about the origin of life. Now, the origin of life, according to him, is a lucky accident. That, obviously, we as Muslims don't believe in luck, but he believes it's a very unique situation. So there, the origination probability is quite low, it's close to zero, and transition probability, according to Darwinists, is close to one. I think what happens is we seem to think if the majority of scientists aren't used to a term or aren't using a term, then it's irrelevant. That's not actually true, because it could simply be that the majority of scientists may not be aware of the philosophy of science in that particular field. So, for example, vast majority of evolutionary biologists may never have uttered the term methodological naturalism, yet methodological naturalism dictates the entire field of evolutionary biology and, in fact, all the hard sciences. That's just a brute fact. So all we need to do is we need to look at concepts. We don't need to worry about if this person believes it, if this person knows about it or doesn't know about it. I think his work is really interesting. I It's unique, it's novel, it's lucid, it's quite comprehensive. There's different viewpoints covered in it. He doesn't actually give his own view. He just says these are all the views that a Muslim can potentially hold. So, how do you deal with this or gotcha arguments? Like, everyone's an atheist. We all deny all gods. Atheists just deny one more God than you Muslims. That statement is not actually true. So, the opposite is true. The actual opposite is true. So, what they're trying to say is, look, Hindus are atheists when it comes to Allah. Muslims are atheists when it comes to Ganesh. Christians are atheists when it comes to what some religion, rare religion, Papua New Guinea may hold. So all religious people are atheists when it comes to each other's religions. They all can't be right, therefore they're all wrong. Ha ha ha, gotcha. No, not really. Let's think about this carefully. The vast majority of humanity throughout time believes in some sort of creator. Some religions, their concept of a creator is different to others. Some have humanized God, some have made God transcendent. Either way, the idea that there's a transcendent creator is generally held by the vast majority of humanity. So it's the atheists who are in the minority. They're trying to show that everyone's an atheist, in some way or shape or form. Actually, it's the opposite is true, which is the vast majority of people on earth do have some sort of belief in God. Secondly, if all religions can't be right, does that mean that all religions are wrong? How does that logically follow? That does not logically follow. Technically, you can have multiple contradictory ways of explaining a particular phenomena. Does that mean all the science theories are wrong because they all contradict each other? No, it could be that one of them is right and the rest of them are wrong. Is it better for the soul to eat less and sleep less? Hmm. I believe Ghazali has written on this, if I'm not wrong. You're going to have to ask someone who has more knowledge of him. Skeptic couldn't stand on business. The evidence of humanity reported by scientists hundreds of thousands of years reliable. It's hard to believe Adam lived so far in history, but that's just my gut feeling. I mean, so I want you to understand something. When we talk about Adam and his lineage, Bani Adam, us, all hominids, all Homo naledi, Homo erectus, whatever it is, are we saying that's all Bani Adam? Not necessarily. It could be that Bani Adam came later. How old is humanity? Allah knows best. Now, you said my gut feeling. The thing is, Allah didn't make us witnesses to our creation. So, I feel humans have only been around for whatever 1,000 years. You may have a feeling in your head. It's not really an argument. All we need to keep in mind is that there is nothing in anthropology that directly contradicts the Quran from the perspective that there's something that we can say, okay, there's this piece of evidence, it's undeniable, therefore the Quran's wrong. Because the Quran doesn't give you dates and times and locations. It doesn't say humans came from Africa, it doesn't say it comes from Asia. How long human beings have been there. The Quran doesn't rule out other hominids. So Homo erectus being 1,000,000 plus whatever years, like, oh, does that affect the Quran? No, it doesn't. How long do you believe Prophet Adam salam came? I don't know. I have no idea. It could be hundreds of thousands of years. Like, that's a possibility. Could be 50,000. Could be 20,000. I don't know. I actually don't know. Again, going back to something very important. What is Bani Adam? Any creature that looks like a human, does that mean they're necessarily a human from our perspective as Muslims? No, there could have been other creatures before Bani Adam. Professor Farina, this fake guy, he'll be getting, inshallah, some news in a few days' time. I find that his little minions are coming on my chat and just talking nonsense. And the funny thing is, they're saying things like, oh, debate him, you coward. And I'm thinking, I'm the one who challenged him to a debate. I'm the one who wants to come face to face. I'm the one who's been debating atheists for years. Don't they see what happened to Aaron Ra, their main atheist, new atheist who's, they're speaking about, Darwinian evolution being a fact. Alhamdulillah, not because of me, but Alhamdulillah, he lost the debate twice. So I'm the one who put out the challenge to him. I'm the one who's saying I'm contacting university. I'm the one who's saying I'm going to pay for him to come down. So for them to say, oh, you're backing out the debate, it's not happening. It's like, what? Am I simply going to drop everything that I'm doing and just debate him today? So everything today? No, these things take time. There were Palestinian protests happening at the universities. it was taking time to get through, and these things don't happen straight away. And there is a lot of money involved because it's not cheap to bring down someone from America. They're going to stay in a hotel, all the time that they're going to be here. So it takes time to set up these things. Now his little minions were like, oh, you're scared or this or that, or you're backing out. Why would I put out a challenge publicly, say I'm going to pay for things, and then back out and not do it? Like, why would I do that? If anything, it just goes to show that these guys really are deluded by this guy. They think this guy is some sort of great, fantastic academic. And inshallah, I'm going to show in the debate. That's the beautiful thing about these debates, right? You can't hide. You can't run away and do your research and just try and, distract the conversation. I'm going to grill him. I'm going to put him on the spot. Firstly, Professor Dave explains. What professor? How are you a professor? Explain that to me. How are you a professor? How am I supposed to take you as a professor? Don't have a PhD. You clearly don't even know how to speak to professors because you were with James Tour and you humiliated yourself. So please sit down and have a sandwich. How do you prove Islam? How many commentators on Dave's channels are paid chills? The guy Skeptic, I'm still waiting for you. I am actually waiting for you. You said you're going to come. Don't waste my time. If you're going to chat nonsense, you made a point, and I want to address that point. You said that I lost the debate with Skydive Phil when Skydive Phil admitted he'd not heard of transition and origination probabilities. So I want to know how on earth you think there was any benefit in him debating me from his perspective. Yeah, I had to explain this situation because these people are ridiculous. How do you plan to destroy this Dave Farina? I saw how he debates and he will attack you rather than your arguments. So what? Inshallah, it's fine. Like, I mean, the guy's bad at debating, right? Like, obviously, he doesn't have any arguments. What's he going to say? You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a liar. You're a moron. Ha ha ha. You're a clown. Whatever. Okay, fine. Like, okay, you don't win debates by just shouting out stuff. You have to make an argument. So what I'm going to do is ignore all the nonsense and just get down to the facts. Okay, so you say you believe in this. Okay, what's your evidence for this? Provide the evidence for this. Let's have a discussion about this. I mean, I saw Aaron Ra as an interesting opponent. He has some level of credibility. He's now, and I give him kudos for this. He's got a degree in evolutionary biology and he's 60 something years old. He just got it around the age of 60, that a bachelor degree. Now, someone may say it's so old to get a bachelor's degree. I would say that's commendable. That's respectable. That's, honorable. I like that. But this Dave Farina guy, he's just like with Aaron Ra, he had some level of class. Farina's just he just comes across like a man child, and he's also like, you could tell the guy's like very unseasoned. He's not like Aaron Ra's a veteran, right? This guy's just like, you could just tell he's not that, experienced. Like, he was doing things in the James Tor debate that he didn't need to do. There was a question that somebody asked, that what do you like about the opponent, right? And then James Tor said something like, well, he's married. People nowadays aren't married. And, he made a website, or so he made a channel, and he's teaching people about education. I respect that. So, James Tor came up with some positive things. And then when it came to Farina, this fake professor, he turns around and he says, well, I commend Tor for maintaining a lie for so many years, or something about, just attacks his character. And that was so unclassy. It's like the wrong time. Like, even if you go to the comment section, the atheists were kind of cringing. They're like, like, this guy is like a bit too much. And then if you're going to pretend to be educated and you know what you're talking about, James Tor is asking you to fill out some very basic information from the debate's perspective. All you needed to do was go up there and write it. You didn't. And you did actually look clueless on those things. So I think the debate went badly for him, but he made it worse for himself. Can two kids still running away from Dave Farina? Mate, I challenged Farina, the fake professor of yours, and I'm the one setting up the debate. He's the one that made a 3-hour long video rather than come out like a man and debate, have a live stream, whatever. He's the one who decided to just, months later release a video, but I'm not into that. So I'm sorting everything out. I'm not running away. I'm the one who put out the challenge in the first place. He told you to email him for more info. He can get lost. I gave my info. The info is we're going to have a debate. The university society is going to contact him. I'm not going to contact him. Dave Farina debates in a very feminine way. He makes insecure, sarcastic comments and weird, emasculated faces. By the way, this has nothing to do with the fact he's physically weak. That's ouch. That's gotta hurt. The magician is so funny. The debate is going to be announced very soon, inshallah. Rejecting fair parameters for debate is a big sign you're already losing. I agree. Who did that? When did I do that? Please explain how origination probabilities has any bearing on whether I'm related to my cousin or not. Firstly, you are related to your cousin because it's your cousin and you're both the same species. I'm sorry? Like, what kind of a question is this? This question is going to make me lose brain cells. Now, the question you should ask is, how does your relationship with a banana, with the grass, or a bumblebee, how is that linked to origination probabilities? And the way it's linked is because if there's one origin, then everything is related. If there's two origins, less chances of everything being related. If there's multiple origins, infinite number of origins, then everything can be affected in terms of its probabilistic common ancestry, the status that we give that ancestry. So it's pretty clear. Would you ever like to debate Matt Dillahunty? He seems to possess credible argumentative skills. I mean, Dillahunty in his debate, if you saw with Hakikachu, he did so poorly. And it's not just against Hakikachu. There's another debate he did with Sai Ten, Christian apologist. He did poorly in that debate as well. He's not like, if you look at some of the things that he says, he contradicts himself. His positions, like, let's just look at the starting position. He will never ever defend atheism, as in he'll never debate saying he's an atheist. He'll always say, oh, he's he's not arguing for the truthfulness of atheism. He's simply saying there's not enough evidence for God. But to his own audience, he speaks in a very different way. In fact, there's a interview with Shoaib and an atheist on this channel in which they both are discussing who the burden of proof is on. And one of the people that come up is Matt Dillahunty, because he's inconsistent like this. He says something to his audience, he says something else. Yeah, I went face to face with Richard Dawkins. I asked him a question once during a late night event in North London years ago. But no debates, no nothing like that. He doesn't he would never debate. I mean, if you look at someone like Stephen Meyer, who is an intelligent design proponent, William Dembski, these people, he would never debate them, and they're like the highest caliber you're going to get. Like with intelligent design, I'm not nowhere near them. Why would he debate someone like me? What would be his sort of self-interest? If he's not debating like the heads of intelligent design, why would he debate someone like me? I am, and it's a struggle. Make dua for me. Brothers and sisters, the Quranly app is something I regularly promote. We should be reading the Quran every day. Download it, even read 1 or 2 verses a day. If you think about the verse, even if it's 1 verse a day, you think about it, you read in a language you understand, just 1 verse a day, you think about it, it can change your day. And if it changes your day, it can change your week, it can change your month, it can change your year, it can change your life. Just read 1 verse a day to begin off with. Now, and that someone may say that's really low benchmark. Well, it's a low benchmark, but sadly, some Muslims don't even read the Quran for weeks on end. So we need to start off with something very simple. Who here has the Quranly app? Yes or no? I want to hear from you guys. Who here has the Quranly app? Anybody? Who has the Quranly app, and is it good for you? What have you benefited from it? Yes, you have the Quranly app. Well done, my man. No, well, you need to get it, Abdullah Ozturk. Dawkins is not really old and senile. I mean, he's old, but he's not senile. He's sharp. He's still quite sharp. Downloading. Well done. Fake Farina accepted your challenge to the Darwinism debate. Will you be going through the debate? Yes, inshallah. Again, just making empty statements. I asked you to jump on the stream, you didn't. Alrighty. All right, my brothers and sisters, what am I talking about next? Let's see if you guys can tell what I'm talking about. I'm going to be talking about zombie scrolling. How many people here, let me know if you have a problem with zombie scrolling. Can you just say yes or no if you have a problem with zombie scrolling? And be honest, be direct. Do you have a problem with zombie scrolling? Oh man, where's my phone? Here's my phone. Okay, brothers and sisters, have you done the course? That is, have you signed up to the course? If not, why not? Let me know. Oops. Sorry, guys. Sorry, there might be an echo sound. Nope, echo sound is not there. Good. I put the link in the chat for anybody who's interested. Let's go back. Okay. I will stop brute scrolling. That's good. Keep scrolling the Quranly app, yes. You have downloaded. Yes, yes. Oh, okay, good. You guys have the Quranly app. Okay, good. So let's do this question. How many people here have a problem with zombie scrolling? How many people here have a problem with zombie scrolling? That's the question today. Me. Okay, good. At least people are being honest and direct that they have problems with zombie scrolling. I'm not an ally at all. Dude wants me to debate on philosophy and not scientific evidence. You can't divorce the two. They're both linked at the hip. If you have a problem with zombie scrolling, you know what you need to do? You need to do this course. Don't know what zombie scrolling is. Well, you should know. Tell us about the course. Okay, has anyone here done the course? And you can give me a comment that I can go off first. Anyone here done the course? Anyone here done the zombie scrolling course? The zombie scrolling course talks about three basically elements to stop zombie scrolling. The first thing, you need to have desire. You need to know why you want to give up this addiction, the impact of this addiction on your brain, on your memory, on your sleep, on your relationships, how it affects your life. You need to understand how it makes it hard for you to focus on meaningful tasks. You need to feel the pain of zombie scrolling and the pleasure of not zombie scrolling. Two, you need to have direction in life. You need to know where you're going. You need to have goals. You need to have milestones. You need to have deadlines you're working towards. Three, you need to have discipline. You need to learn how to discipline yourself. So desire, direction, discipline. Using this three-step formula, I teach people how they can escape from this incessant addiction of zombie scrolling. So that's it. That's how I'd explain zombie scrolling. Okay. So if you go to the zombie scrolling course, you can go here and it will actually tell you what's in the lessons. There's actually 10 lessons here. And then you can sign up, put in your email address, and it'll take you to another page and you're done, right? Highly recommend you guys do the zombie scrolling course. It is fantastic. Yes, inshallah, I'm going to debate Mr. Farina. Are atheists who are genuinely not convinced with the existence of God going to hell? I'm really curious with this question. I've asked this twice. Please help me out. The first thing to keep in mind is, what does Islam have to say? Islam says that God is the most just. Allah says in the Quran, He does not do injustice to anybody. I care about my family. I care about my parents. I care about the Palestinians. I care about famines in Africa. I care about floods in Asia. I'm a human. I have sympathy. I have empathy. I have these feelings, these moral feelings. My moral feelings towards any human being are a direct result of the one part of mercy that Allah has sent out of 100 parts. One part came down, and that one part is the reason why we human beings are merciful and kind to each other. Okay, this is something to keep in mind. So any care or concern you have is, oh, what if another human being on the day of judgment, they are going to be sentenced to hell, but they weren't convinced of God's existence? That doesn't make any logical sense. Your Lord, who created you and put mercy in you and kindness in you and justice in you, is not going to be unjust. No human being is going to be treated unfairly. Any human being who is sincerely looking for guidance, Allah guides them. Any human being who is genuinely has never heard of Islam, he is somebody who has never received the message of God. They, for whatever reason, they existed before the Prophet or they came after the Prophet and no one gave them evidence, no one gave them argumentation for Islam, they will have their account with Allah on the Day of Judgment. We do not say about that individual that they are going to hell. We do not say about a particular person that they're going to hell. What's important to keep in mind is we have no reason to worry about another human being, because who's judging them? Not some random person, Allah. And Allah is the most just. It's 1 o'clock, guys. Okay. Thank you, Hussein Chalabi. Can you explain the chain of narration in the most basic way? I still don't understand it. There's more qualified people than me that can explain this. What do you think about the geocentric solar system in the Quran? I don't think there is a geocentric solar system in the Quran. The Quran does not mention a geocentric solar system. So, what can I think about something that doesn't exist? I don't have any thoughts about it because it's not there. Now, you, skeptic, was supposed to have a discussion with me here about your comments about Skydive Phil. You didn't jump on. I was waiting. You said 15 minutes. It's been half an hour, more than half an hour. Now you're asking other random questions. Why do you not use the modern theory of evolution in your videos? I absolutely do. I 100% do. I am using the modern theory of evolution. When I'm speaking about neo-Darwinism, what else am I speaking about? Okay, my beautiful brothers and sisters, my lovely brothers and sisters, I need to finish off this live stream and move on, because here in the UK it is now very late and I need to go to sleep. When I say Darwinian evolution, I'm referring to the most modern version of it. I'm referring to the most modern version of it, which includes natural selection working at a genetic level. Now, if natural selection is working at a genetic level, which is basically the selfish gene idea, that is clearly modern Darwinism. That's 21st century Darwinism. We're not talking about the 19th century. So I don't know what you mean by that. What is your strategy for the Dave Farina debate? Well, our first debate is Darwinian evolution a fact? The real question is, what's his debate strategy? Because the onus is on him to show that it's a fact. What do I need to do? I just need to look at the evidence he's providing. or a lack of evidence, actually. I don't think he's going to even do that good of a job. But his debate with James Tor was pretty poor. I don't know why James Tor was so patient with this guy. Like, the guy he's just like a standard internet troll. Thoughts on time of the gaps. What does that mean? Are you talking about, if something is hard to explain where it came from, someone says, given enough time, it can happen. Is that what you're talking about? I'm dealing more in terms of how you deal with his rhetoric. What rhetoric? Rhetoric is a very fine art. What he does is predictable, cringe, crass, a bit like cheesy, like rhetoric. Like, what is rhetoric? Look at the David Wood hijab debate. That's what you call rhetoric. Like, hijab's got rhetoric, right? Hamza Sotzis, Lawrence Krauss, Hamza has rhetoric. You know, Hakikachu and Dilhanti. Hakikachu has rhetoric. Like, that's what you call rhetoric. This guy have rhetoric? No. Like, give me a single thing, like a video clip or whatever, where he looks like he has rhetoric. I just thought the way he even talks is just kind of dry. Anyone in the creationists to say believe in microevolution but not macroevolution. My friend, I asked you to jump on the stream. You said you were going to. I waited for you 15 minutes because you said 15 minutes, and now it's been more than 40 minutes. I wouldn't use the word prove. I think your zombie answering need to sleep, bro. I think you're right. I am going to go to sleep. Thank you very much, my brothers and sisters, for watching this live stream. I love speaking to you, my beloved family. It's always nice to have a little chat with you. And yeah, it was great speaking. Last question, your thoughts on Kikachu and Dilahunty. Dilahunty just came across weak. He's just like, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he's just running out of steam and couldn't be bothered. But yeah, Pikachu dealt with him. Alhamdulillah. Alrighty, brothers and sisters. Speak to you later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa